Good morning, you mini hammers. It's 1:04 in Guam, and remember, the bars close at 2 a.m. But like Will Rogers said, if you can't get drunk by then, you ain't trying. This is the Bagman.
And this is the Nose, and we're just saying. So, ranting today. We'll let the Bagman lead us off. Go ahead with your rant.
So, yesterday we were talking about Deflategate and cheating in sports, and got me thinking about, PED testing and Lance Armstrong and cheating in sports. And I guess I kind of want to lead off with this story I told a friend of mine. So, if somebody's driving drunk down the street and they get stopped at a DUI checkpoint, the cop tests them and let them go, and they drive down the street and run into a brick wall. Whose fault is it? Is it the driver? Is it the cop? Is it both? So I look at, A-Rod issued his apology for using PEDs over the weekend, and I start thinking to myself, whose fault is it? Here we have a man, and look, don't get me wrong, I'm not justifying cheating in sports. The bottom line is this: who's not doing their job? Major League Baseball didn't catch him. Look at Lance Armstrong. The man retires, okay, and at one point, he's the most tested man on the planet Earth. They still don't catch him. 2 years after he retires, they come back and they find him guilty of using drugs. Now, what's your point at that? At that point, what are you trying to accomplish? Defaming the man? Defaming yourself? Because after all, in the end, you're not doing your job. NFL Deflategate. Who's got to give the ball to the quarterback? The officials. Like I said yesterday, there's got to be 40 zebras on the sideline. Who's not doing their job? NFL. But who are they doing? They're pointing the finger at other people. It's like parents and teachers. I'm just saying. Come on, man. Do your job. Enforce the rules. Don't blame somebody else.
All right, my rant is definitely not as long. But I'm going to go with Russell Wilson, worried about the 1 yard line pass there for the last 17 days or 18 days. Wasn't your call. You're a rookie almost. You're in it for 3 years. You've been in 2 Super Bowls, and you're worried about the one pass that you didn't call. Yes, anybody with more experience would have called a different play quarterback-wise. Would you go against your coach if you're 3 years in? Probably not. If you're Joe Montana, if you are Tom Brady, you do go against your coach. I'm sorry, Russell Wilson, you got to get over it. All right. So,
who threw the pass?
Okay, Russell Wilson threw the pass, but he was told to throw the pass. Moving on today. First topic, Bagman, what do you got?
So, last week marked get this guy's 25th anniversary of the Buster Douglas knockout of Mike Tyson, February 11th, 1990. I know Doug wasn't alive back then, but that's okay. Holt, you were like 5?
Yeah, 1990. Let's see.
It's funny because I can remember.
11.
I can remember it was Mardi Gras. I was at a parade at the Travel Lodge on Veterans Highway, and I heard the news, and I could not believe it.
Throwing beads. It's okay.
So it got me thinking about, on that same day, February 11th of last week, Tiger Woods announced he's taking a break from tournament golf. Who's got the biggest fall from grace, Tiger Woods or Mike Tyson?
Now, I'm going to go with the Mike Tyson on this one, only because Tiger Woods fell from grace a long time ago when he did the whole cheating thing that every city he went to, he put his golf ball into a different hole.
But overall, who's got the bigger fall from grace?
I'm just saying it'll definitely be Mike Tyson. Totally. Has he ever regained back from his status way back then?
One word for you. Hangover.
It's great. He had a movie.
Hangover 2.
He had 2 movies that he
Hangover
appeared
3.
in. And he also has his own stand-up show where he talks about his life as a boxer. Sorry, he is a bigger fall from grace. He's no longer a millionaire. Tiger Woods will be a millionaire from
Who
here
are you going
on.
to see? One's at Barnes & Noble, one's at Books A Million. Which one you going to see?
Still going to go see probably. I would go see Mike Tyson. I would. I would. Am I going to pay $300 for a ticket to go see him like you do on a golf course? No. Are you going to pay $25 at, the casino down the road? Yes, that's what you're going to do. What about you? Biggest fall. Go ahead. Give me a rant.
Right now, I'm thinking Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods couldn't hit a fairway if it was laying on his stomach. I don't know what that means. I just made it up. But I know Mike Tyson could knock your butt out with one punch.
He still probably could. You are right, but he has fell from grace.
Tiger Woods couldn't win a round of putt-putt golf at the Fun Depot over on Sweeten Creek Road.
He is so much better than us right now. I mean, that's like saying Mike Tyson couldn't knock you out. If you put him in a ring, he could still knock you out in 18 seconds. Tiger Woods is going to beat me at a golf.
Run.
Yeah, I'm going to run around the ring.
All right.
Next subject here is...
Why you got that?
Here we go. I'm gonna give you one. Adrian Peterson going back to the Vikings. Vikings have asked him to come back. The owner and coach want him to come back. Do you take him back?
Peterson said he doesn't want to go back. He doesn't feel comfortable going back, and I personally don't blame him. You got sold up the road. Now it's your own fault you got sold up the road by the Vikings. I don't know, man. I mean, if they don't show you enough, what it comes down to is there's so many teams. Like we were talking about yesterday, so many teams that stand behind some of these knuckleheads that do stupid things, and then when one of them stands up and says, you know what, I don't want to be a part of you. I don't want to be a part of you beating your son, okay? Then they take offense to it. You know what? Dude, you go wherever they're going to pay you to play.
I think the Vikings have a smart move that they want Adrian Peterson back. They need him. Who are the Vikings within the past? How many years have the Vikings went without a playoff?
They had Brett Favre.
Okay,
Brett
they did
Favre.
with Brett Favre. That's it. That's it. Other than Brett Favre years there, the 15th retired. When have they been in?
Adrian Peterson's not going to take them to the Super Bowl.
No, he will not. But
guess what?
Will he take them on into a playoff game?
It doesn't matter. He's not. You play to win the game, Herm Edwards. Okay, and they're not going to win the Super Bowl with Adrian Peterson and only Adrian Peterson. They're not going to build around him because guess what? Today he's a year older than he was a year ago, and next year he'll be a year older than he was today, and he's only getting older and slower and dumber.
But Adrian Peterson is not like most people. When they have a year away from the sport, they take it off. He actually works out. He does his thing. I'm not taking his side on what he did. I'm taking his side on sports-wise, and I hate that because he was
ever taken a year off of sports and come back as good as they were when they left? Wait. Let me name them. Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan. There you go. There you go.
No. He was not as good.
He still won a championship.
He was not as good.
Two championships after he came back.
Not as good.
He was totally just
Michael
as
Vick?
Good. Oh,
not as good. Plaxico Burress? Not as good.
I'm just saying.
You want to go on?
Just saying. We'll move on.
Just saying. I got nothing for you.
I got something for you.
Go ahead.
All right. Is it too late for NASCAR to, come back as one of the highest sports? People watch them all the time. There's new stands coming up.
You're going to ask me a question about NASCAR?
I am. It's a sport.
Born and raised in New Orleans.
It's a sport. And this will put you onto our last question from Douglas. Is something a sport? NASCAR, go ahead. Do they need to do something else to have a better experience for the fans so that people will still watch them?
You got 110,000 people sitting in the seats. You could put 150,000 people in the seats. They come for one reason and one reason only. They want to see fire and crashes. That's it. That's the most boring race. It's like a soccer game without any goals. Is a race without any crashes. People come to see crashes. So what are you putting more stands for? For more people? I say put explosive devices on a track or something. I want to see more fire and flames and death and crashes.
We're going to the death race. There you go. Jason Statham.
Come on, make it exciting. I hate to sound like George Carlin, but it's a bunch of 33 rednecks driving in a circle.
Oh, there are no rednecks anymore.
That's George Carlin.
People.
That's not me.
Okay. Anyway, baseball sport just for you.
Can we edit that last part out?
Baseball. Wrigley Field not allowed at first for a 2,250-foot screen
2,250-foot screen.
Yes. Not messing with the grandstands. They are
250-foot screen.
No, overall, it's like a 2,000.
Oh, 250 square foot screen. I was thinking tall.
No.
Like the smaller Empire State Building.
So the rooftop companies that are near them, trying to ban them from putting this big screen up because it's going to hurt their business. What do you say to the businesses?
Wham. I guess I feel more. I feel more, I guess, sorry for the people across the street. What's that, Wakeland Avenue, whatever it is, Waveland Avenue, that sit on our rooftops and they barbecue and they make a thing out of it on the weekends and watch the game. I remember growing up in, late 70s, early 80s, watching the Cubs on WGN, and they always zoomed out to those people out in the left center field, barbecuing, doing stuff. And you put a screen like that up, it becomes a nuisance. It does block out. If the reason you're putting a screen up is to block the view, you're being a jackhole.
Is it all about money for the MLB?
Why are you putting a screen up?
Right. It's actually like a jumbotron to come back and,
why are you
see the
screen
replay.
Up? Yeah, and I mean, who needs to see the replay?
Right.
I'm a purist. It's not going to create revenue. More people aren't going to go to Wrigley because of the new 2,250 square foot screen. All you're going to do is piss off your fan base. And guess what? The Cubs don't need to piss off their fan base. They've done it for 108 years, 111 years, whatever it's been.
You're right. Final questions here. Would you rather, or let's ask Douglas for his questions so we can rant on it before we go to Would You Rather.
I apologize in advance for this question. I'm going to tell you right now.
All right. The question largely is, what do you determine is a sport versus what is a competition, and how that affects the public's, how they perceive it. So electronic sports, also known as video games, have been making a huge increase in viewership as well as monetary gain over the past 5 years. The World Series in the past 3 years averaged about 13 million viewers. The last League of Legends tournament had 32 million viewers. Obviously, the viewership is there. The highest paid people are getting paid over $1 million every single year. The highest paid North America, United States gamer gets paid over about...
Just give me the question.
So, do you...
Give me the question.
I mean, I do have a quote here from John Skipper.
Give me the question.
That it's not a sport, it's a competition. Do you think that it is a sport? Or do you rest it on the soul
Do I have to look my competitor in the eye?
Yeah, they're there.
No. Do I have to?
Do you have to? No, but they do.
Okay. Can I sit in another room and play this quote-unquote sport with somebody else while they're in a whole nother building in another room?
Yeah.
So I can do that.
Yeah.
So I don't have to look them in the eye. I don't even have to be in the same city as them.
But you don't have to do that with curling either.
Curling?
That's where I was going to go.
You do.
Curling.
You have to be on the same...
No, you don't.
How do you curl when you're in someplace else?
And you are a lover of curling just because they come out with a dang posterization of Sweden's team, for God's sake.
Oh, the girl's on fire.
But
you check
come
that
on.
calendar out, guys.
You really call curling a sport when you slide a hockey puck down ice
That's
and
a
you
stone,
sweep.
man. It's
you
a stone.
Sweep. So every time my mother swept, she was curling. She's got a sport going.
Did she sweep on the ice?
She swept in the house every day. So she is a curler. She is now a sports enthusiast.
Because curling is in the Olympics. It is a competition, to the best of my understanding.
I agree.
Yes, it takes a high level of skill, but so do these video games. It takes a huge amount of high hand-eye coordination, the reaction speed that you have to have.
So does typing. But typing's not a sport.
It's also not a competition either.
Exactly.
You
can have a typing competition.
You can.
And I'll whip your
You can
tail
also have a
out.
curling competition.
So,
could you put this in the same category as you would hockey?
I couldn't put curling in the same category.
Okay, put curling aside. Curling aside.
Why are you making an exception for curling, but not
Because
for
I'm
video
not.
games?
Because I'm not. I'm not going to justify that curling is a sport.
So you agree that it's not, even though it's in the Olympics?
Because of his
There's
calendar.
a lot of...
Because of his calendar.
There are a lot of things in the Olympics that I don't think are sports. Rhythm gymnastics, I don't think is a sport. I think it's a competition. They actually call it a gymnastics competition. They don't call it a gymnastics...
So what do you define...
Running.
As
You know
a
what
sport?
running is? Running is a way to not get killed by a tiger. Okay? It's not a sport.
What do you consider a sport? Your definition, sport. There you go.
I usually think of a sport in a vague sense. Person or persons to persons competition usually involves some sort of contact and requires a high degree of athleticism.
Can I interject here?
Because golf,
Ping pong.
ping pong.
Ping pong.
If you don't play ping pong well, all right,
But it's no contact. Golf, no contact.
if you get hit by a ping pong watch, it'll leave a mark on you. I got hit by a ping
But
pong
that's
watch.
not the purpose of the game.
You said it's
I
got
know.
to be contact.
That's why I said vague. A vague. It's hard to say what a sport is. And I'll go back to, I don't know if I said this. It's hard to say what a sport is, but I can tell you what it's not. Sitting behind a computer, playing a video game, okay, I've done it. I've done it twice as long as you've been alive, okay?
He had the Atari.
I had this little triangle
It's okay. I
thing
grew up with a
made
Commodore
by
64. I was playing
Intellivision.
text-based stuff.
Intellivision, which came before the Atari. It was a triangle-shaped thing. We had 3 games on it, and I can tell you what a sport isn't.
Okay,
Okay? Video games are not a sport. I played Tron in the arcade. It's not a sport.
okay, so I understand where you're coming from
How
with
about
saying
Pac-Man?
it's not a sport.
Pac-Man?
But is it valid? Is it a valid statement to? I guess not a valid statement, but is it okay for people to like mock these people who are in
Who say it's a sport?
not who
Absolutely.
say it's not who necessarily say it's a sport because it's.
I'm going to
I'll
go
even
with
almost be on your same side that saying it's not a sport.
Okay.
But we celebrate competitions.
Okay.
We watch curling, which you just said
Right.
is not a sport. We watch
Only for the
gymnastics.
hot women.
We watch
Only for the hot women.
we watch these things for entertainment purposes. We watch these things for entertainment purposes. Is shooting a sport or is it a competition?
pull
Is
this
it,
back
is it a
in.
bad thing to celebrate these things? To have 32 million people watch a competition?
It's not a bad thing to
to
celebrate. You're
pull
right.
in just one competition. Every single year, they give away $30 million a year.
How about
in
this?
another game? It's
I'm
20
okay with
20
you
million.
celebrating the competition, but don't call it a sport.
If
It
it-
isn't a sport.
if it's pulling in ratings and money and all that, it's just like Big Brother, or whoever on the island. That's competition.
Survivor.
It's Survivor. Yeah, couldn't think of it. Same thing. That I'm guessing is what Baggett's going for.
Breaking Bad, is it a sport?
No.
No,
Is it a
see,
competition?
Okay, now you're just being a butt.
All right.
A nut grabber?
A nut grabber, yeah.
Would you rather?
Who you got? Oh, is this my would you rather? Who you got?
Yeah. Who do you got? Would you rather?
Go ahead.
So, I'm going to go with both of them here. I'm going to give you both of them.
Give me one at a
because
time.
They're quick and easy.
Okay.
First one. Would you rather have Ty Cobb on your team, or would you rather Lou Gehrig? Do you need me to give you their batting averages?
You don't have to give me their batting average.
All right.
Okay. It's like saying, I'm trying to
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Derek Jeter versus Troy Tulowitzki. Troy Tulowitzki's going to give you more offense, better defense, but who's the leader? Who are you taking really? I'm taking Jeter. Jeter's a better captain, a better
That is
person.
definitely not the question,
And
though.
Gehrig-
Ty Cobb or Lou Gehrig?
I'm taking Lou Gehrig all
Why?
the way.
Why?
Because every day you count on him.
Ty Cobb
Every
you
day.
couldn't count on?
Every day.
Ty Cobb you couldn't count on?
Ty Cobb was a
He's a
jackhole.
367
He was a jackhole.
Babe Ruth was a jackhole, but he was the best player at the time.
But I'm taking Gehrig. Absolutely 100%.
All right. And on that same subject,
Dude, give me your stats on Gehrig versus Cobb.
I'm just telling you, he's a center fielder, 367 batting average, where you got Gehrig only being on first base. He's a 340 batting average.
27 points
That's a
for
lot.
for
That
four-
is a lot.
for 10 consecutive seasons.
Hey, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Whatever it was, I don't
Here you
even
go.
know the number. The number's so big, I don't even know what the number was.
Here you go. Here you go. You ready for this? Your
3,000
favorite
games.
question, because it's your favorite team, for God's sakes. The
Oh.
Yankees.
The best team.
Yeah, anyway.
Talking trash.
The Evil Empire. It's okay. So,
Somebody's got to be there. We talked about it.
four teams from the Yankees.
Four
Which
teams?
one are you picking?
Oh,
For your World Series team, the one that you would take, the one that you would be the manager of. Are you taking the 1961 Yankees with Mickey Mantle, who won 109 games? Are you taking the 1939 Yankees? And I'm telling you these in order of least to greatest. 1939 Yankees with Joe DiMaggio, who won 110 and lost 45 only. the number 2 team ever, the 1998 Yankees, and it's got Darryl Strawberry with 125 and 50? Or would you take the 1927 Yankees with the Babe, 110 and 44? Which team are you taking as your team, being a manager? Why do you want them?
So, all right, 61 Yankees. Give them to me again, 61 Yankees.
61 Yankees, 39 Yankees, 98 Yankees, and the 27 Yankees.
Ooh. I actually know somebody who played on the 27 Yankees. I worked with his son, who would always, that'd be Aaron Ward, played second base, number 26. The 39, it's definitely a 39 or 61. I'm looking at 61 right now. Elston Howard, Clete Boyer, Yogi Berra, Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris. Then you go to the pen and you got Whitey Ford, Bill Stafford, Jim Coates. Ooh. Or the 39, right?
Yep. 39 with Joe DiMaggio to lead it off. Just saying.
I'm thinking 39 Yankees. You couldn't give me some time on this, right? You couldn't give me some forewarning to look at this one.
You told me not to give you forewarning.
So here we got Bill Dickey, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig in his latter years. You're killing me here. Red Ruffing. I'm going 61. The 61 Yankees all the way. Just solid across the board. 109 wins in a season. What, they had 158 games. So, I mean, yeah. I like Yogi. I like Mickey's my man, number 7 all the way. So I'm taking him. So, who you got? You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Who you got? Sofia Vergara or Selma Hayek? Who you got?
What? This is not even a sports question.
Doesn't matter. Who you got?
It's a competition.
It's a competition. There you go.
Sofia Vergara or Selma Hayek?
It's curling.
He just gave you a curling question.
It's a curling question. Oh.
You're only saying that because it's choking you.
Hey.
Because you know that your wife's going to hear this and she's going to be all over you. You better choose the right one.
Acting ability, you got to go with Selma Hayek. Even though Sofia Vergara, hilarious woman. I don't know. It's 6-1, half a dozen the other.
Nobody said it was easy.
You can't pick one.
You got both of them by a hand over a cliff. Who are you letting go of?
Do you pick acting ability or do you pick...
That's a deeply personal question.
That is.
They got to act to be with you.
It's what everybody does. I'm going to go...
Oh, yeah, them.
It's Selma Hayek. I don't know. I'm going to go with Selma Hayek with just... She's a better actress. That's all I'm going to go with.
One word, Dogma. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Oh, that is a horrible movie with her in it.
Oh, I loved her in that movie. All right. So we done here? Wrapping it up?
We are. We're done.
All right. This is the Bagman. And, sometimes people tell me to stop. I don't know whether to collaborate and listen or if it's hammer time.
Oh, dear God. The nose. I'm just going to let him sign off with his crap sign-offs. Thank you.
Good night.
How you feeling?
Egg rolls. I wish I had a breeze running down my leg. I'd kill for a cookie. Stingray, a double-sided Scooby snack. Yeah, we pick our hotel. Help me burn that old man.
I can't,
If you
dude.
can, let's freaking burn that guy.